feel?
we?
Yes, we are live. How do you feel?
Dead.
Right, I forgot to add the thumbnail. Let me actually do that
Yeah.
real quick.
Ask me what thumbnail to pick. Just
There we go.
um,
So this is the funny game. As I like to call it.
thing. Holy shit! There's a stink bug.
What the?
Hold on. I need to kill it.
Kill him.
Kill him. Goodbye. Hi. You're dead. I got you.
Nice.
I got him.
Did you?
No, he's not alive. No! Don't escape from me. Piece of shit. I got him.
Nice.
Dead.
Ty.
Yes.
Memes. So, I'm pretty sure you will most likely enjoy this game, Ty. Just the intro will make you fall in love with it.
I hope so.
Okay, let's.
If this intro is not like Shadow the Hedgehog levels of intro, then I will be disappointed.
Let me just then let's just start. You'll see. This story is a work of fiction. The procedures and conditions described herein. Okay, thank you
What
for
if
letting
it
me read.
What if it is? I love it.
The wriggling mass of flesh burbles.
Dollar XY percent 3Y then X3 to 1P percent 3 question mark SK percent G1J exclamation percent curly thing which I forgot the name of question mark and Y go
Oh,
I think
that's
circle
all.
flag.
Number one is
SG James Tire S5 hashtag percent post. You know, I love this story. It is a very touching story.
yes, it is a really good story.
So anything that I'm supposed to read, I'm say I see the word gift, Zuba, hi.
Yes, there is. You will once it starts going on, you'll see. 3 such creatures sit around the table in front of me, slurping filthy sludge from their cups as they trade wines, rolls, and sons that I cannot describe. This is the art, by the way. No, David, this is the remaster version that was released on Steam.
Because apparently we had to play that one because that's the only censored version that we could find.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
They're speaking the lead language, Ty. You just don't get it.
Sorry, I'm not well versed in.
Look at flesh. Flesh.
Ah.
By listening careful, I am
Just like Mama's Kitchen.
perhaps. By listening carefully, I'm able to grasp the gist of their conversation and respond where it is required of me. This is necessary to avoid arousing their suspicion. However, these creatures look. They are my friends, apparently. I wish that I could still deny it, but I gave up on that long time ago. Night after night, I went to sleep praying for an end to this nightmare, only to wake each morning to the same twisted hellscape as the day before. I know that I have to blend in, that I have to act like one of them, such has been my life these past 3 months, and so it will remain until the day I die.
Getting right into it, I see. Sounds more like the Discord call in the TV public server late in the evening.
Back when you put the kilobytes per second to 16. Judging by its tone, this must be Koji, and the one next to him, squealing more than the others, is probably Omi. Which means that the one next to me is Jo, so I can no longer see any trace of her once attractive features. I try my best to ignore the rotten stench of excrement that issues from her quivering flesh.
Oh, dearest.
Hi, dearest.
I hope this is the entire game that we have to, only you have to voice things.
Nah, don't worry. Everything in this game is voiced, except the monologues.
This makes more sense than, I don't know, the past Discord messages I've read, so yeah, this is acceptable. So I'm going to have to put a spam warning there.
Oh god. Everything has changed, or almost everything, by some cruel trick
War
of
has
fate. War never changes.
Apparently it does.
By some cruel trick of fate, my relationship to the war alone remains the same, as if an insane architect took the blueprints of my life and rebuilt it out of blood and gore.
Isa, you and me both, we literally just started the game and this is like the first scene and I'm already confused as to what the hell is going on.
Don't worry, it's intentional. These monsters and I were part of the same college club. We studied together, ate together. We even went skiing together every winter break. Now, these are but painful memories of days that will never return. If only no one recognized me, I might have been able to disconnect myself from the world. It would have been comforting in comparison to believe that I had been abducted by aliens or that I had stumbled through a gateway to hell. But no, this is beyond a doubt the city where I was born and raised, the society that I was part for 20 years, save that I, and I alone, cannot longer see it that way. There are some clues there. The world as I knew it is gone. I have no place to call home. Yes, it is intentional to have this kind of introduction. Any comments, Ty? So far?
SDJ, almost SDK.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah?
I think the writer here had a lot of fun because because this is how it was basically written.
Pretty much.
And got paid for this.
Yes. That's the funniest part. This is one of the best Nitro Plus visual novels, by the way. And as David notes, this was written by the same guy that wrote Madoka Magica.
Honestly, I believe that, yeah.
Anyway, I can tell that whatever they are discussing is of no importance to me. I decide to keep quiet while pretending to listen. But just then... See?
Is it supposed to be what I'm reading? What voice do I even give this thing?
He actually does have a voice. He's just playing on the background, but it's corrupted to our protagonist.
If I had voice mod open, that would be really good. Too bad I don't have it open. I wish you had warned me before that. But regardless, one of the flesh beasts says, and it swivels in bloodshot eyes towards me.
I try desperately to suppress my loathing and behave normally, but my hoarse voice ruins the attempt.
We're talking about this strictly, you're coming to right.
A slimy hole near the top of the creature reads nauseatingly as it vomits some semblance of words. That must be Koji's face, or what I would have seen as such 3 months ago. Unable to stomach the sight of it, I avert my eyes and give a neutral answer. Why did I know you guys were playing Saya? Because there can only be one funny meat girl.
わからない。
You have other blood?
These were my closest companions. One of them had even wished to be more. How many nights have I spent crying in loneliness, lamenting the friends who no longer exist?
You know what? I'm gonna get voice mod for this, just for this.
In 3
See
months,
if I still have it somewhere.
in 3 months, my tears ran dry, and now there's only loathing left in me, surrounded by hideous creatures that I can only assume are Koji, Omi, and Joe. I spend each day trying to act as I always have. If I fail at this, I will surely be sent back to the hospital. Only this time,
Oko?
yeah?
Once I set this up, my microphone's gonna cut out for a second. So,
Okay.
Just so you know.
I'll be locked away forever. No matter what, I won't let that happen.
I mean, it's not like you physically activity for the victory, is it? Right?
That's it. I can't look at them or bear this screeching any longer. I jump to my feet, desperate to escape. A spray of stringy slime from the cilia around its voice box flies at me. I try to cover myself, but too late to keep the slime from splattering across my face like the yolk of a rotting egg. I'm about to lose it. I want to grab a chair, a desk, anything within reach, and use it to smash the life out of this creature, ending it all. I barely suppress the impulse. I mustn't let on that something is wrong. However, they look to me. They look to me, this is their world. I'm the outsider here.
だから今日も診療なんだ。もう時間だ
Okay. Okay, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Then I just need to. I'm rerouting. Don't worry.
Okay.
Don't worry about a thing.
Struggling to put on a smile, I reach into my wallet, pull out the first bill I find, and put it on the table without even looking at it. I don't care about the change. I just need to get out of here. Now.
それじゃ
I muster hastily and flee the cafeteria. Nicest tie. I'm not crazy.
ねえねえ、今度のスキーだけどさ、今年はどっかスケートも遊べるところにしない？
See, Ty, this is when you get the full reveal of what's the whole situation.
Hold on. I was just literally in the abyss of microphone hell. My mic is choppy now. What? Oko?
No, I hear you just fine. OBS capture is just fine.
If you were talking like that, then yeah, that was, you know.
Yeah. See, Tsukawa Joe frowns at the
スケ
suggestion.
ート？わざわざスキー場にまで行ってスケート？
勘弁してやってくれよつくば。こいつ今そっちにハマってんだ。
Tonoid Koji supports Ami with a laugh. Her impromptu suggestions are nothing new, and it's Koji's role as her boyfriend to provide backup. They're a good match for each other, Yo thinks. Sometimes it makes her jealous.
なんせオウミってさ、この前この年になって初めてスケートやったんだ。
何よ、スケートしたことなかったのがそんなに不思議
20歳になって初体験ってのは興味そうそういないんじゃないかな。
子供の頃はなんとなく怖かったのよ。あの靴、なんだか刃物みたいでさ。
So, Tai, are you realizing what's going on right now?
My melting.
Oh. Did you just say your mic is melting?
both.
Funk.
Because I need now because
でも
I pick up my
いきなり
like
やって
key for
滑れ
voice
た
mod
の
that I have. And yes, I do actually have
すご
voice
くない
mod.
Thonk. So then,
Yeah, I know.
I want to point out something funny I realized on this remaster version, right? If you pay attention, her right boob is lower than her left boob.
It's symbolism.
You see, in the original graphics before the remaster, this wasn't the case though.
容量はスキーとそう変わるもんじゃないからな。
It symbolizes the
全身を前に出して
imperfections of
その前をヘリ
humanity.
でコントロールする感覚とか。
I'm pretty sure it's just an artist like
I
a
think what the
error.
hardest, I don't know.
Yeah,
当時も
Error.
そう言われたもんだ
yes,
からさ
error.
騙されたと思ってやってみたわけよそうしたらもう楽しくって
So it was a date. Joe feels a stab of envy. This is Percy now. Koji and Omi enjoy their time together as normal lovers do. That's certainly not something that should make her jealous. It's just that her luck in love has been bad.
ふーん私も見てみたいな大見ちゃんがスケートやるところ
Yo keeps her voice upbeat, trying to cover up her disquiet. She knows that it's wrong to envy her friends. She too would be spending time with the man she admires, if not for the terrible tragedy that befell him. His true misfortune. Her bad luck doesn't begin to compare.
だからさね今度のスキー旅行ついでにスケート旅行にしちゃえば2倍美味しく楽しいってわけよでもさ
There it is, a
ス
ski
ケート
again.
はスケートリンクに行けばできるじゃないわざわざスキー場に行ってまでやる
What time? What did you say?
I think my brain is now. I was not ready for this, okay?
Yeah,
No.
I think you should give it up on the voice mod. The game is fully voice style. We only have to read the monologues.
No, I already set it up. Are you stupid? I mean, I'm talking about the game. It's melting my brain.
Sorry. I didn't fully get
What
you.
do you just take me for? Like some sort of like beginner who hasn't done this like 5 billion amounts of time?
Eh,
Shut up.
you never know. I'll leave it at that.
だから屋内じゃなくてさ屋外スケート凍った湖とかで滑れるところ
Skate on a lake. How does that work?
Ice skate?
On a I skate outside on a
on a
lake,
frozen lake?
or
Like I think she's talking about ice skate.
is she skating rink
No,
on a
wait,
sky
skate-
resort?
Yeah, because she's talking about the rink, right? Which is like the sort of like ice area or like arena sort of thing.
Eh, I
You know what
guess.
nice
そんな都合
ice
のいい
rink
と
is, you know?
こ
Yeah.
かななんだかすっごく混んでそう
While speaking, Yo sneaks a sideward glance at the young man sitting next to her. Although the conversation has involved only 3 people so far, there are in fact 2 couples at the cafeteria table. Yo's boyfriend, though there's still some doubt over whether he could be called that, is beside her, as silent, as expressionless as a statue.
なあ、文則。お前はどう思う
Perhaps Koji sensed Jo's pain in his unusual quiet and considerate way.
どうって。
Here's the big reveal, Tai.
Out.
The cause of Yo's distress, Sakisaka Fuminori the response to Koji's sudden query with a vague, mumbled question of his own.
いや、だからさ、今年の冬のスキーだよ。お前も行くよな。
Koji speaks gingerly, as though probing a tumor. A few months ago, he would have not hesitated to rebuke Fuminori for his attitude. Their long acquaintance had forged a strong and honest friendship. But now,
わからない。
Fuminori responds bluntly, his downcast eyes and sullen demeanor making it clear that he has no desire to break his silence.
何か他の予定でもあるのか？
いや、別に。
Even Koji, Fuminori's best friend, cannot communicate with him as before. What hope does Yo have of breaking through his shell? The scars left by the events of that late summer day are still deep all these months later. Each one of the four bears them, not only Fuminori.
なあ、別に運動するのが傷に触るとかそういうわけでもないんだろ？
どうだろうな。今日の診療で先生に聞いてみる。
As though that answer drained the last of his patience, Fuminori bolts out of his chair.
おい、文則。
Even Koji can't keep his voice from rising as he tries to stop Fuminori from leaving. Fuminori reacts swiftly, throwing his hand over his face as though to shield himself from something terrifying. Maybe some spit flew inadvertently from Koji's mouth, but that happens sometimes. Fuminori's reaction is beyond the pale.
だから今日も診療なんだ。もう時間だから。
So, any comments, Tai?
I'm just thinking about how things go bad, or if things are already bad.
Ah, you'll see, don't worry. Even as he tosses money on the table to pay for his coffee, he asks that he's touching something filthy.
それじゃあ。
Fuminori stalks out of the cafeteria, almost as if he's running away. Cloaked in heavy silence, the remaining three lower their gaze to the table, where the abandoned 10,000 yen bill sways forlornly. Fuminori's coffee is untouched. 10,000, that's $100. He literally just paid $100 for a coffee. Come on, man.
やってられないわね。
It's something around that. It's like 90 something.
Yen into dollar. Ahem. Can I get it the other way around, please? So I can. Okay, one US dollar into. Okay, $1 is 100 yen. Yes, yeah. Oh well, 107.03 if you want to be.
Yeah, that's pretty expensive for a coffee.
文則には
That better be some good ass
時間が
coffee.
必要なんだと思う。
I hope so, but I don't think he enjoyed the coffee.
だってもう3ヶ月よ。なんなのよあれ。付き合ってるこっちが変になりそうよ。
俺だってわからない。
Feel like I'm going
わかるはずも
crazy.
ないと思う。
Cue that one song from Pink Floyd.
お前だって想像つくか？あんなひどい形で家族全員を奪われて。
Here you will get your
平気
context
でいられ
time.
るわけないよ。
It could have happened to anyone.
Beautiful.
A tractor trailer flipped over on the highway, crushing the Sakisaka's family car into a twisted scrap. They said it had been difficult to tell the bodies of Fuminori's parents apart.
So we are the anime protagonist.
Yes.
Nice.
For a while, it had looked as if there was no hope for Fuminori either. It was nothing short of a miracle that he was able to leave the hospital and return to a normal life.
見舞いに行った時なんてもっとひどかったじゃないか。誰が誰かもわからずに怯えて暴れてベッドに縛り付けられて。今はよくあそこまで立ち直ってくれたと思う。
それにしたって変よ咲坂くん。私たちのこと見る目つき。あれ何なの？まるでこっちが人間じゃないみたい。
よせお
Oh, so basically, we're insane in the membrane.
Are we? We'll see, we'll see. While Koji's kindness makes her happy, Yo also knows that she mustn't take advantage of it. Fuminori is the victim, just as Koji said. He's the one who deserves sympathy. Yo's feelings for Fuminori are her problem, and no one else. She doesn't blame Fuminori for not giving her an answer after she worked up the courage to ask him out. So, Poor Yo is the classic low self-esteem girl that asks MC if they can be together, and MC is like Sokka and doesn't say anything. In fact,
Okay, NPC.
in
Step
fact,
aside.
in fact, she thinks even more fondly of him for taking the time to consider that she would have that she would have had he treated their relationship casually. That was a weird sentence to pronounce. Apparently, the fact that Fuminori did not reject her was enough to make them a couple in Koji and Omi's eyes. They've had plenty of fun at Yo and Yuminori's expense since. The truth of it, though, is that he still hasn't given her an answer. After revealing her feelings to him, Yo didn't see Fuminori again until a week later, and then she could only stare at his broken body through the window of the ICU. Oof.
Hmm.
And when he was finally released
Yeah.
after 50 days that seemed an eternity, he was somehow different. She's starting
Somehow.
She's starting to doubt that he even remembers what she confessed to him before the accident. Now winter is coming and her feelings hang forgotten in the cold, lonely air.
Imagine getting cucked by a truck.
Raccoon strikes again. Dr. Tanbo Ryoko has never had a more troublesome patient.
その後の経過はどうですか？
Oh, hey, doctor.
Hot doctor.
いえ
Jesus
別に
Christ.
これといって問題もなく
His voice is hard and flat, his word tossed carelessly into the air. It's like he's speaking to himself in an empty room. Ryoko is a surgeon, not a psychiatrist, but even she can sense the thickness of the wall he has erected between himself and the world.
吐き気やめまい、幻聴や幻覚といった体験は？
いい
I've never seen a female doctor in real life. This is all fake.
I've seen a couple, man. Though all the female doctors I've seen, they're all like past their 50s. Feels bad, man. While Sakisaka
Doesn't happen.
True. While Sakisaka appears to be looking at Ryoko, his gaze is actually aimed a fraction down and to the side. He's only superficially engaged in the conversation, when in truth it does not interest him in the slightest. Perfect rejection.
Ouch.
Wait, why did it... Oh, I see. So this is dark because I already read this part. The white is the things I haven't read yet. Interesting. They added on the new engine. Realizing that she can't interview him like this, Ryoko sighs and set her chart aside.
咲坂さん、あなたが当院で受けた処置は脳神経医学の分野では世界的に最先端の治療でした。そのことは
Oh,
ご
so
存
it
知で
was
すよね？
that bad, huh?
Yes. Treatment of subdural hematoma through the use of micromachines, a procedure available in Japan exclusively here at T University, had been
Only here.
the only way to save Sakisaka Fuminori from a cerebral contusion that should have been fatal.
最先端であるということは、まだまだデータの出揃っていない危険性の伴う治療法だったという意味でもあります。
Prepare for unforeseen consequences.
そうでしょうね
Of course, you know.
Yes.
As if things aren't like vague enough for me already, now I get that thrown in, huh?
Yes. Sakisaka Fuminori's lip twists slightly in what might be a bitter or mocking smile, but it is gone before Ryoko can discern its meaning.
普通こんなことを言って脅かすのは医者として問題なんですが、施術後に重大な脳障害をきたしたケースも
Serious neurological disorders post-surgery.
十分に注意しなければなりません。
So we are literally quite insane in the membrane, huh?
Yes. Hence these weekly checkups, if only he would take them a little more seriously.
先週の MRI はどうでした
Oh yeah, I just got like brain surgery going on. Yeah, nah, it's chill, dude.
Yeah, it's okay. MRE, magnetic resonance imaging, is a way for doctors to examine the brain in detail without opening the patient's skull. Surprised by Sakisaka's uncommon technical knowledge, Ryoko recalls his
そ
profile.
ういえばあなたも医者の卵だったわね。
先生が心配しているような脳機能不全は画像診断だけでも十分にわかるはずですよね。
And yes, our character was studying in like a medic to be a medic. Feels bad, man, for him.
いいえ、
Medic.
There was nothing, not the slightest hints of abnormal activity. For a procedure with such a low rate of success, the results have been nothing short of miraculous. However, something still bothers Ryoko. She can't shake the feeling that he's hiding something beneath his guarded exterior. Some terrible weight on his soul, perhaps. Oh, if she only knew.
Oh no, what could it be?
But if it's an inorganic problem, then there's nothing she can do as long as he refuses to explain it.
Oh, I think it's
大丈夫です
very
よ、先生。
organic.
現に僕は今こうして病院の外でも何不自由なく生活しています。問題なんてないでしょ。
ねえ咲坂さん、
I
こういっ
didn't
た
get
難
read
しい
that
手
full,
術
but
は
okay.
予後不断の
Yes.
原則なんです。
Ouch.
もう少し私たちを信用してもらえませんと。
I mean, let me open the backlog so you can read. She's just like, oh, please, you know that continued observation is required after these difficult surgeries. You have to trust us a little more.
Trust us. What could go wrong? We gave you experimental bullshit, so
だ
just
って
just
先生
no.
方を信用して。
Yeah, no, we fucked you up, but so you have to trust us.
ええ、も
I
ちろん
suppose you're right.
Ryoko answers,
Okay.
smiling to cover up her irritation. Sakisaka asked exactly the same question during last week's visit.
じゃあ先週の話の続きなんですが、先生、あれから大貝教授については何か分かりましたか？
Dr. Ogai. Unable to answer, Ryoko hardens the mask of her smile. As before, the patient is inquiring about someone who he has no business knowing.
大貝教授のことは、そのあなたの治療とは何の関係もないでしょ。
信頼しろと言った矢先にいきなり隠し事ですか？
Ryoko is used to patients treating her with hostility. Some degree of paranoia is natural with dealing with a person whose mistake could kill you. In Sakisaka's, however, she doesn't see the anxiety that other patients exhibit. His demeanor is perfectly calm, almost like a detective questioning a suspect.
何分だいぶ前にここを辞められた方ですからね。私個人としても交流があったわけではないし。
Working for the FBI. Trust them.
辞めた理由はご存知ない。
I'm just saying, Ty. Just a heads up. This is interesting story. I don't even know how to put it into words.
ええ、おそらく個人的な事情でしょうね。
Thank you. Very important.
So,
I couldn't have done it without you, Bunko.
you will end up cheering for MC here, trust me.
Oh, MC's always right. Come on.
Yes. Having decided at the outset to lie, she has no trouble doing so with a straight face.
それにしても咲坂さん、なぜあなたはそんなに大貝教授にこだわるんです？お知り合いですか？
教授は今失踪中なんです。知ってましたか？
いいえ。
Ryoko realizes that her answer may have been a little too quick. She should have been more surprised.
近頃教授の身内の人間と恋にしていましてね。その人から調査を頼まれているんです。
A relative? Ryoko considers this with a frown.
大貝教授に縁者の方はおられないはずですが。
おお、誰から聞きました？
それは噂話に。
She fucked up real big. She fucked up real big.
なるほど。そんなことが噂になる程度には、大貝教授は有名人だったわけですね。
So, the Steam version has none of the sex scenes, David. That's all. The rest,
Horny.
it's all
I
okay. Just
think-
no horny. Even though horny is kind of integral to the story, but so I don't know how
Well,
like
we gotta sell it to the Western audience because Europe doesn't exist.
I just wonder. I actually kind of surprised like what the fuck they're gonna do because horny was part of the story. It was important aspect of the story, but let's see.
まあ一風変わった人だったみたいですね。
なのに
Like
誰も彼が大学を辞めた
Tai,
理由を知らない
there was literally a rape scene in this game, and it was important
It
part of the
surprised
story.
me.
It was an important part of the story too. But it's all gone, reduced to atoms.
Oh, we'll see.
We'll see how they fix it. I'm actually kind of interested. Ryoko falls silent, knowing that this isn't a topic she can brush away with a smile. Sakisaka seems to have finally grasped her mood, however, as his strangely stiff tone softens a little.
先生僕はどうしても大貝教授に会わなきゃならないんです
Then again, we can't show rape on YouTube, so. Well,
Yeah.
なったせいで行く当てがなくなり困っている子がいるんです力になってもらえませんか
you actually could because it's a game and you can actually get away with that as an excuse. I literally played Nazi songs in one of my video and a claim effect, or like the counterclaim actually just worked on it.
Oh god. Yeah, yes.
I have to say it's a game.
Yes. A girl.
Why is guy so important? I'm guessing we're gonna find out.
それはむ
Yes.
しろ警察の領分なんじゃないかしら。
Although she makes it sound like the most obvious thing in the world, the suggestion is actually a gamble. If Ogai Masahiko's disappearance becomes a police matter, then the university will be investigated. Everyone who was involved in the incident will be at risk of exposure. And of course, that includes Ryoko herself. She knows, however, that Sakisaka is unlikely to go to the police. First of all, his excuse is obviously a lie. They made sure that Ogai had no relatives who might come looking for him, which is why they could bury the truth of what happened. But then, how did Sakisaka, a mere patient, learn about Ogai?
崎坂さん、私の知っている範囲のことは喜んでお教えします。ですが、大貝教授は今年の4月に辞表を出して、以後は何の音信もないんです。どこか長期の旅行にでも行かれたか、その程度しか想像つきません。
そうですか
Expecting resistance, Ryoko is surprised when Sakisaka backs down. She's still worried about his condition, and the mysterious link between him and Ogai is only making her more uneasy. But as long as he doesn't open up to her, there's nothing she can do. After a brief pause, Ryoko writes "Progress good" on Sakisaka's chart for today. Wait, progress good? That's some butchered English right there.
I mean, usually you wouldn't even like write a full sentence down, you know? It's literally just notes.
Yeah, I guess, but
That's just what you do, my friend.
I guess, but like, I would at least put good progress, not progress good, you know?
No, because you'd usually have it in a table most of the time, so it would be progress good.
I don't know, sounds weird, man.
崎坂さん、それでは来週の診察ですが、
I'm not a doctor, but I've been to many, so no.
Before she can finish, Sakisaka is gone. He just yeeted out of there. Now we are on the flesh hole.
Ah, yes, flash.
Don't you love it, the flesh hole?
Looks just like Mama's cooking.
Look at all these like high quality 3D organs splatter on the walls and shit. It looks like someone sprayed the walls with pig guts from ceiling to floor.
Man, I hate when children do that.
Indeed, it's the worst, you know. What color should the walls of a hospital be? White, of course. And to the creatures of rotten flesh shambling around me. I'm sure this hallway looks as white as it should. I know, intellectually, that the walls are white. I know that the flesh beasts are really human. I'm the one with the problem, and it's because I accepted this that I'm able to lead something approaching a normal life. Even if my university's medical treatment is nowhere near as good as T University's, I'm still a medical student specializing in neurology. I have a basic idea of what has happened to me, though it's hard to believe. This isn't a pathological condition. It's probably some form of agnosia, unlike anything that has ever been studied before. The flesh beast called Tanboryoko said that other patients had developed neurological disorders after receiving the same treatment I did, so I guess I'm just another failure. It makes me want to laugh in that know-it-all doctor's face. That said, I don't blame the doctors who operated on me. After all, I do owe them my life. I know as well as anyone how low the chance of success was, and that I had no other hope of survival. I was unlucky. That's all there is to it. Don't you love Silent Hill but flesh, too?
It's more fog.
I mean, the sky is black. The point is that my condition isn't treatable. Just like someone adapting to a hearing aid or wheelchair, I have no choice but to adapt to this nauseating scenery. Of course it's hard. It wasn't easy to resign myself to this fate, but now there's more than just despair. Even for me, there is a glimmer of hope. Wink wink. Keeping my eyes on my feet, I hurry home. I live in a home sweet home. Don't you love it when fucking the trees look something out of War of the Worlds? You know, the veiny blood
Well, at least
trees.
you're not gonna run out of food.
True.
Just get the grill out.
We just eat. We just eat the house.
Meat.
I live in a quite suburban neighborhood, in a house that's too large for me alone. My parents, even unluckier than I was, died in the accident 3 months ago. I couldn't even go to the funeral for being in intensive care. I had to sell my father's business, but at least that left me with the house and enough money to live on for a while. Of course I'm sad, but the accident took more from me than my parents. In fact, being on my own has probably saved me. If they were still alive, my parents would never have allowed me to live with some strange girl.
Oh, yeah, of course.
おかえり
Here we go, Song of Saya 1. Best song in the OST, fight me. As I open the door, a bright voice greets me from the kitchen. The voice is beautiful and clear as a bell. Human. Its sweet sound washes the day's cacophony from my memory.
ただいまさや。
Even the platter of feet coming down the hallway is music to my ears. Nowhere else in the city can I hear such footsteps. Only in this house, with Saya. Am I so privileged?
遅かったねちょっと心配しちゃったぞ
Type for first impression of the female main character?
For a second there, I thought it was a Neko.
No, it's not an echo.
Because of like the hair. But thing is, I have a good friend named Saya.
Oh,
So that's gonna be extra special. So all I think about now is Saya talking about Ass Castle for the 50th time.
oh my Ty. Oh
I
god.
didn't ask for such a scary hand job, okay?
That's all I'm gonna say.
ごめんよ。
What?
今日は病院に寄っていく日だったから。
Let's just leave it at that.
あーそうだっけ
In her smile, in the inquisitive tilt of her head, everything that I have lost. Since my accident, this girl is the only person I've met, perhaps the only person in the entire world who does not trigger my cognitive disorder. Or does she? True. Her skin seems too white, and the color of her eyes and hair is probably different in reality, but even so, her form is undeniably human. And it's just not just her appearance and her voice either. As I
It's just a
bent
fucking dog IRL.
as I bend down to take off my shoes, Saya wraps her arms around my neck and pulls me gently into her chest. Her skin feels truly human, not cold or slimy, and from her hair wafts a sweet feminine fragrance. In all the world, only Saya is pleasing to my five senses. And what's more, she smiles at me, embraces me. She knows that she is my salvation, and for some reason is happy that I need her. If I had not met Saya, if I had been all alone in this twisted, filth-ridden world, I would have no doubt have succumbed to madness. It is no exaggeration that Saya alone is keeping me alive.
今日は一日どうしてた？
So wait, does she know?
I think, yeah, she does. I don't know why I
It's
said.
not Saya. All I see is fucking meat.
I don't know why I said I think. I know she does. Okay.
今の模様
My
が
brain being stupid.
もう半分ぐらい塗り終
Everything
わったよ
is meat.
で今はね文則の晩ご飯作ってるの昼間テレビで作り方やってたから
そうか。楽しみだ
The
な。
painting. It's
Yes.
gonna be flesh painting.
もうちょっと時間
You'll
かかりそう
see
だから
eventually,
待
Ty.
っててくれる
いいよ。じゃあ、僕は今の続きをやってる。
After I see the humming Saya off to the kitchen, I step into the living room. I realized one day that if the natural colors of the world were sickening, all I had to do was paint over them with colors that seemed pleasant. Went to the hardware store and bought every color of paint that I could find. Then Saya and I tried different combinations until we found one that worked. After painting the bedroom from ceiling to floor, I was able to get my first good night's sleep since the accident. When we first started on the living room, Saya, unsure what to do with the curtains, just painted them carefully around the windows. Without a moment's hesitation, I tore down the curtains down and painted over the glass itself. There'll never be anything out there that I'd want to see, and as long as we keep the storm shutters closed, the neighbors probably won't think anything of it.
ご飯できたよ
こっちで食べよう。持ってきてくれるか？
The neighbor's kid is painting the walls. Well, that's gonna give trouble to the landlord, but whatever.
He's the landlord here.
Yeah, I know. It would be funny if.
I mean,
Sorry,
I
I
mean-
have flesh disorder. This helps me sleep.
if the if he was like renting the place and the landlord came while he was not there, just redact it. I'll leave it at that. As she enters the
Spoil. If you spoil, you die.
that's why I said redacted. As she enters
Yes.
the living room with a tray of food, Saya sniffs the air.
ペンキの匂い平気
Ah, the good smell of flesh in the morning.
Now that she mentions it, I suppose the amount of paint thinner must be building in this closed room. It doesn't really bother me though. There are far worse smells outside. Thunk.
さやは嫌いかい？
Hmm.
ううん平気
うん
みのりが大丈夫ならいい
Saya sets the food on the table. Unfortunately, neither its color nor its smell is at all appetizing. Not that food elsewhere is any
いただき
different.
ます。
As has become routine, I steel myself and methodically transport the food into my mouth. The taste is as gut-wrenching as I expected, but it's not Saya's fault. I'm sure she made it exactly like the cooking show said. It's just that my taste buds can accept it.
美味しくない
まあね。
He's just, nah.
No, it sucks.
Lying won't make
Woman, make me a sandwich.
meat sandwich. Lying won't make Saya happy. She knows about my condition.
気にしないで明日はまた別のものを作ってあげるから
ごめんな、いつも。せっかく作ってくれたのに。
いいのよ。こうやっていろいろ試していけば、いつか文則でも美味しく食べられるメニューが見つかるかもしれないじゃない。
In my current state, eating is nothing more than an unwelcome duty. As much as I hate it, I need food to survive. If I stay alive, then perhaps one day, as Saya says, I'll be able to taste something delicious again. I met Saya, didn't I?
さやは食べないの？
私はもう済ましたから。
In all the time we've been together, Saya has never once eaten with me. I don't know why she refuses to do so. It makes me a little sad. Still, I'm not about to push the issue. Not when she's putting up with all the problems I have.
そういえば今日もう一度病院で君のお父さんのこと聞いてみた。
パパの？
Dr. Ogai Masahiko is Saya's father and her only living relative. Saya has asked me to unravel the mystery of his
やっ
disappearance.
ぱり何も教えてくれない。何か隠している雰囲気なんだが。
The plot thickens.
It thickens like it becomes really thick.
そう。
It becomes quite meaty.
It's meaty and wide. Oh god. now I can't stop imagining white Saya. I expected Saya to be a little more disappointed.
心配じゃないのかい？お父さんのこと。
そういうわけじゃないの。
She gives a little shake of her head, then smiles at me once again.
ありがとう、文則。私のためにいろいろと。
君はそれ以上のことを僕のためにしてくれるんだ。
I thank her for the meal and set my chopsticks down next to the perfectly clean plate. As rich as the plate was, everything of the care that Saya put into it gave me the strength to finish every bite.
じゃあ、お
Eat
風
the
呂にする？
proteins, brother.
Oh, it's the bath scene, Kappa.
Yeah, bath
背
time.
中流してくれるか？
Are we just gonna bath in guts? Hell yeah.
We'll see. Probably, but who knows. Ever since Saya moved in, it's been like having my own wife. Well, yeah, of course.
Me?
Saya, why are you so good to me? Wait, so they just put you the generic background instead of showing you the CG. Interesting. Is this truly what you want? What am I? That you can give yourself to me, body and soul? Is this merely sympathy? Do you pity me, the exile from society? Is that enough for you to surrender yourself to such mad desire? Are you so wanton? Saya is here. She's with me now. Only in this moment is her existence certain. Only when I'm joined with her can I believe. So you kinda know what is happening right now, Tai, right? Tai?
My brain gears are working theories out, but I can't say anything conclusive. I mean, I get his situation, but I'm trying to dig deeper than I should.
They are doing the thingy.
Oh, you're talking about the CGI.
Yeah. True, at least they are keeping the story. I also just realized that my frame is in normal latency instead of ultra low latency. Oh well, I'll fix it for
I
next
mean, that was
stream.
to be expected. I mean,
Hmm?
there's a rare cases where you actually need to censor text occasionally.
True.
JoJo subtitles.
文則、泣いてるの？
I realized that my cheeks are wet with tears.
どうしてなんださや。なぜ僕にここまでしてくれる？
文則。
わからないんだ。わからないのに僕だけがどんどん君に惹かれていく。君なしちゃ耐えられなくなって。
I mean, they did censor text because there was an explicit like text that was saying what was happening on the screen with, you know, accompanied with all the sounds. They just kept like a couple of them. Like this scene lasted like 10 minutes if you normally read it. Now it's lasting like 2. Thanks. Thanks, Steam censors.
Thanks for letting us play the game on YouTube.
I rubbed my arms tighter around her, praying that our bodies will melt together and never
Maybe
again
we
be
should
apart.
move to Facebook streams.
Oh god,
どうすれ
no.
ば君を失わずにいられる
You'd probably get away with it. I heard Facebook is pretty much just anarchy. You can do whatever you want.
Is it? I don't know, man. I don't
There are
know.
no copyright laws over there. Facebook is a lawless land.
こうやって
Oh. They didn't cut up the CG! Come on! Wait, but if they have these super quality zoom in of the full CG, why not just make it like 720p instead of 960p in 4x3? But, okay.
Game, Bunko. Game.
I guess so. It's just game. Okay, wait, give me a second.
Bunko stroke.
Yeah,
Well, this game was not what I was expecting today. I was not expecting to go into the meat zone.
I mean,
And you know
did.
what you should have picked?
Yeah?
You know what you should have picked as a thumbnail? You should have picked like the wine sauce meat. You know, like the whatever, what even is meat? I don't get it.
Meat is.
The worm thing.
You see, David, Nitro Plus can
David.
into widescreen engines. Literally, the re-release of Kishin Hoko Demon Bane is widescreen, like widescreen.
Widescreen?
Yes, 16:9 because it got released on the PS4.
海苔に炊いてもらうの大好き。だから
大好き。
私は海苔から離れたりしない。
なぜ僕なんだ
His
I'm just
voice.
waiting for like the twist. Oh yeah, by the way, I've been dead all this time. You've literally just been talking to a corpse.
それはね、海苔が一人ぼっち。
Oh, David, the PS4 release is on 720p on Kishin Hoko Demon Bane. They can't actually force the PS4 to fucking display in 4x3.
Why would you play visual novels on a PS4?
You would be surprised. Steins Gate got an Xbox 360 release before it got the PC release.
Well, I guess. I don't know. Visual novels are like as casual as you can get. So I guess, and console fags are casual. So I guess
In
you have a
Japan,
point.
consoles are kind of big though. Visual novel mostly belong to PC because of, you know, censorship.
Well, you bring up a good point. It's just Japan. What the fuck? Whatever goes in Japan. What even is the West?
Pretty much.
それはさやも一人ぼっちだったから。
This is important plot, by the way. The sorrow in her voice resonates with my own. There is a deep loneliness in her eyes, a loneliness from which now springs boundless affection.
だからさやにも
Just like
海苔しかいないの。この世にただ
why
一人
do
だ
I
け
think that she is not just referencing her father there?
Yes.
Hmm.
Reminder that Steins Gate's PC release by Nitro Plus was so broken that Jazz had to hire someone to actually fix it. Yes, because it worked in Japanese. Like in the Japanese version, it worked because it was
just
like.
works.
But when you start like The fucking Nitro Plus engine is just black magic. If you just look at it weirdly, it just breaks. So you can imagine that going from Japanese to English, the engine was just like, fuck you, fam. Like, give you the middle finger and just
What
die.
is that? Another set of characters? Guess I'll die.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sucks.
Now I know. No matter what horrors this world unleashes upon me,
Then again, you're not gonna hire the top programmer for a fucking visual novel, are you?
you see, the thing with Nitro Plus is that they've been doing visual novels since like 1996. Some around that time, if I remember correctly. You would think that in basically 30 years of experience, they would have like proper working visual novel
No.
engines.
No.
In
That's
fact,
like too high of a standard
Ty.
there, Bobo.
Ty, they made fucking technically visual novels that play on DVD players.
What?
Yes, it is actually a thing. They made visual
Excuse me?
novels that work in DVD players.
Funny.
It
funny.
is it's a ride.
It is what it is.
It is an interesting ride. I'll leave it at that. No matter what horrors this world unleashes upon me, all I ever need is Saya.
Is sex.
I mean, those two go in hand, so. Yo is the term.
Flesh boy and wife. Woman.
I think you're way off the mark, Ty.
Yeah, I know, because I know nothing about the game, you goddamn idiot.
Yo is the term. I can't pronounce. Determined to talk to him today. Nothing will happen as long as she hesitates. It will only prolong her suffering. The time has come to show courage once again. The time for the Brotherhood of Naught to rise up again has come, my brothers.
Do you think if we play it on a DVD player, we can play the uncensored version on YouTube?
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
Yo's fourth period on Thursdays is biology. This is her one chance to see Fubinori. Can I mention how fucking tight that shirt is?
Yes, I was about to comment on that. What is happening there?
And like, what's the design there? What's the point of this? Down here, what?
Honestly,
What?
I'm just that guy up there. One with the pen.
Here.
That's just me right now. Taking notes, literally everything that is happening right now.
So this is me at the start of the class, and this is me 30 minutes into the class. As a required course with many students, the lecture is held in a large hall that can seat well over 200. But since the room is actually only half full, it's rarely difficult for Yo to find the sheet she wants. Yo prefers to sit near the center, where it's easier to hear the professor. Most of the students congregate in this area for the same reason. Fuminori usually sits beside her, although, given the ambiguous state of their relationship, she knows better than to take this for granted. Still, she tries to save a seat whenever possible. The classroom isn't crowded,
Nice.
so Yo is able to set her bag on the seat next to her without inconveniencing anyone. I just noticed, even though I played this like 20 fucking times, she has a choker.
I mean, it's magical. It can ward off flesh boys.
Ty,
It's not.
I'm not gonna comment on that because if I do, I'll spoil you. So.
Don't tell me that the Joker has a relevance.
No, but part of the sentence, yeah. But then when the processor arrives,
What do you mean part of the sentence? God damn it, you're just making things worse.
But when the professor arrives at the usual time to start class, there is still no sign of Fuminori. After waiting for about 10 minutes, Yo scans the room furtively. Fuminori is there, singing along in the far back corner. Did he miss Yo when he came in? No, he couldn't have, and besides, no serious student would willingly sit so far away from the front. Feeling miserable, Yo slides her bag back over to herself. Fuminori is out the door the moment class ends. Yo barely manages to catch up to him before he disappears down the hallway.
咲坂さん
I also love how the boys calls him by his her voice calls him by his last name, and the translation is just his first name.
Western.
Fuminori jerks at the sound of his name.
No, Turks is not what you think.
I know, but I saw the that word with the
Go, you have a dirty mind.
I mean, this game is dirty if it wasn't for
No
the censor.
horny. What did we say at the beginning?
That the horny is integral part of the story in here. It was removed. Now it's it's something.
If the horny got cut out, we just have to add to it with us too. Here's cut in the sound clip of me saying "Let's come together, Bunko."
Oh god. You would think she just scream at him.
何か
Look at his face. Doesn't this face scream hentai anime protagonist though? Look at the haircut, the face, the plain clothes.
I wouldn't say hentai. I'd say it's more like isekai.
No, Tai, you need to see more culture anime to understand what I'm saying.
Shut up. Because he doesn't look too generic, you know?
It's not about being generic, it's about the haircut.
I mean, even if you've taken the haircut, I haven't seen that many. It's been a long while, okay?
Tai.
I was
Tai,
busy
Tai.
playing Minecraft, okay?
Now that they are face to face, Yo is painfully aware of how much weight Fuminori has lost. His sunken eyes and protruding cheekbones are a far cry from the features familiar to her. She wonders whether he's under a lot of stress or perhaps not getting enough nutrition. Maybe it's both.
I think
I
a
think
little bit of stress is not.
eh,
A lot of stress is a bit of an understatement, still.
pretty much. He definitely looks more tense than he should, afraid even. Though, of what she can't imagine, his eyes move relentlessly from point to point, and he refused to look Yo in the eye. It hurts to see Fuminori this way. What could have changed him so? And
Oh no, a
You
truck
see-
crash that killed his entire family. And now he is in the meat dimension.
I wonder if there are female hentai protagonists. Yes, BP.
Yes.
Just watch.
Hello?
Go watch Kuro. What was it?
Just literally go watch every Toho
Kuro-
hentai there.
Kuro Ino. What? What was that? I forgot the fucking name. Kuro.
Bunko, we need to play a game, not look up hentais.
There we go. Go watch Kuro Inu. Kuro Inu. There we go. That's
Thank you for the recommendation, but fuck you.
but why fuck me, man?
Oh no, I'm gonna. Mm,
Stop.
I will not.
He definitely looks more sense like he should, afraid, even though of what she can't imagine. His eyes move relentlessly from point to point, and he refuses to look Yo in the eye. It hurts to see Fuminori this way. What could have changed him so? Today, she reminds herself, rekindling the flame of courage in her heart. Technically, you are correct, David.
I've been infected. I have been infected.
Ty, you're gonna be sent to the mid dimension.
No, don't send me to the meat dimension.
Some
No, that's Brazil.
some guy will get sent to the mid dimension. Feels bad, man.
Damn. Sucks.
It does be like that sometimes.
お話が
I
あ
mean,
るん
not
です
all is bad in the meat dimension.
ちょっといいですか
You get a GF?
The feel when no cutie meet GF. The courtyard is empty and silent. No one is willing to sit and chat in the cold November air.
話って何？
Am I tripping balls or is that just is the background not painted?
It's a photo with a like
Yeah.
paint
Like a filter on
filter.
it.
Yeah.
That's fucking with me so bad right now. Holy shit.
Don't
That
you
just took me so out of it.
don't you remember? You almost blurts the question, but manages to keep her composure.
咲坂さん最近ちょっと様子が変です見てて心配になります。
そうかもね。まあ、あんな目にあった後だから。
He
I
smiled.
wish tears will happen again, but Meta right now is still over at Mari, so he doesn't have any time to
We'll
stream with us.
pretty much. We'll have to wait a month or so until he comes back. He smiles like it's nothing, but even that seems forced. He's even standing precisely one pace further away from her than he used to.
本当にそれだけなんですか？
君にはそれだけじゃないように見えるのかい？
Yo managed to keep from flinching at the harshness of his tone.
何か我慢してるみたいに見えます。
Dot intensifies sigh.
Hmm.
Cue
Menacing dots the return.
the villager Minecraft sound. Huh.
Oh.
Rather than answer, Fuminori grinds his tone into the dead grass at his feet. Fearing that her determination might flag, Yo lets the words come as they may.
どうしようもないものを無理して壊れそうになるほど頑張って我慢してるみたいに今の咲坂さんはそう見えます。
そうかい。
Fuminori mutters through clenched teeth, and no longer trying to deny it or change the topic. This is an even clearer signal of rejection than his prior evasiveness. But Yo's determination is strong. Today, at least, she won't back down.
友達ってこんな時のためにいると思うんです。
The word determination being.
本当に残念だったと思います。
Yep.
Yes.
And now I could do this.
I feel really bad about your parents, but you're not alone. There's Koji on the end.
それに
I don't know if that even worked.
It did work.
Okay.
You went sent
That's
to
probably
the
the wrong.
you went sent to the mid dimension, Ty.
No!
私がいます。
Can't believe it.
Yo can no longer stop the words pouring from her lips. She fears that if she does not unleash her feelings now, they will be lost forever.
一人で背負い込んだりしなくても
I think we can have to.
何とかできることだってあると思うんです。
We don't have to deal with it, don't we?
たと
No?
え何もできないにしても話してさえくれれば
Hold on.
Even if we can't do anything, just don't trust my knuckles is better.
Meet Ty. Meet Ty.
I think there's a better voice for this, but I don't know. I don't know yet. What about Thanos' voice? Should I do Thanos' voice?
You could try.
The Thanos voice. What does it sound like? Oh god. No. This is terrible.
No, this is it's ooh.
I will drive you, bro. Please tell me.
That was that was
Your YouTube account has been hacked. Please send $5,000 to you.
I have you see guys, that wasn't Ty. I actually have Thanos kidnapped in my basement.
This is the worst thing.
This is bad.
やめて
Yo,
く
it's
れ
bad. Everything is bad.
Here we go, Ty. The moment of truth.
Stop it!
Fuminori shouts, silencing Yo's entreaty. She promised herself that she wouldn't back down, but Fuminori's expression is terrible enough to shatter her resolve. The look in his eyes is not anger, or any other warm-blooded emotion, it's hate. Murderously cold hate.
そういえば君には一つ返
And
事しな
then
きゃ
he
いけない
killed
要
her.
件があったね
Yes, BP, you can go to my basement. I'm not responsible what happens down there though.
Hello, welcome to Bunko Basement. How may I help you?
He remembers. He remembers, and still he has treated her so coldly. This is all the answer she needs. If his words stab any deeper, she might very well die. See? Tai, she's low self-esteem girl from anime.
僕は君のことをとりわけ特別に意識したことなんてなかった
Ooh,
君に
he's going
声をかけられ
harsh.
てもどう接すればいいのか迷ってた僕が君のことどう思ってるのか正直な気持ちが自分でもわからなかったから
咲坂さん。
でもね
Ouch.
今ではもう
Yikes.
Truly murdered by words.
あれから考える時間だけはたっぷりとあったからね筑波さん僕はあんたのことが大嫌いだ
Oof.
顔も見たくない
Don't cry,
Not good. Not
You-
good.
Yo tells herself, but too late to stop the tears from pouring her eyes.
もう二度と会いたくないっていうのは無理だね同じ学校に通ってるんだしだからせめて今後は僕に声をかけないでくれないか目障りなんだよ
Your voice makes me sick, same.
Yo whispers in shock and despair. To which Fuminori twists his lips into a malevolent smile.
君さ少しは頭を冷やした方が良かったんだよどうせ大宮浩二にけしかけられてその気になってただけなんだろ
Yo literally did nothing wrong. Feels bad, man. She doesn't
一人
deserve
で
this
登せてる
treatment.
分には勝手だけどさ
Pepe hands.
他人を巻き込む
Pepega hands.
No.
That's all Yo can take. Even after shedding tears in front of him, she absolutely refuses to let him hear her cry. Any disgrace would be preferable to breaking down here. So she runs, fleeing breathlessly from the courtyard with Fuminori's cold smile at her back.
Wow, what an asshole.
Omi was the first to catch sight of Yo and Fuminori leaving for the courtyard. Reluctant to interrupt them, but still unwilling to leave them alone, she and Koji ended up watching the whole thing from the shadows.
あいつ。
Yeah.
Through this exchange, Omi was clearly itching to jump out and punch Fuminori in the face. Knowing her temper, Koji kept firm hold of her arm until the end. If he hadn't, she might very well have done it. Fuminori leaves after Yo, his every step seeming to take an act of willpower. Koji sighs heavily into the once more empty courtyard, but the bitter taste in his mouth will not go away.
どうしちまったんだかなあいつは
Even Koji cannot forgive Fuminori's treatment of Yo. However, the first thing that he feels is confusion, not anger. Koji has known Fuminori since long before college. Fuminori was never this cruel before. There is no question now that the accident changed him. Yes.
A bit, maybe.
Just a little bit, you know?
ねえコージ、このまま放っておくつもり？
放っておきたくないにしたって俺たちに何ができる？
覗き見よりマシなことよ。
Ami shouts, her face red with fury.
私、咲坂くんに一言言ってやらなきゃ気が済まないわ。
Don't do it.
それで筑波の気が晴れるってもんでもないだろうに。
Don't
だ
do
っ
it.
たら私のキーだけでも晴らすわよ。
Yo and Ami are best friends, just like Koji and Fuminori. In fact, it was the relationship between Koji and Ami that brought the other two together. Ami's anger is only natural.
私、咲坂くんと二人だけで話してみたいわ。コージはついてこなくてもいいから。
本気かよ。
その代わり、ヨウのことを見ていてあげて。あの子、多分心底傷ついてるから、泣き終わった後で誰かの優しさが必要になると思う。
なあ、それって俺とお前の役回りが逆じゃないのか？
私みたいな性格だとね、慰め役は無理。励ますつもりで余計に傷跡広げちゃうのがオチなのよ。
Funk.
There's a fly
なるほど。
right in front
よ
of
く
me.
言った。
There's what?
A fly.
Oh, kill it.
Come on, land, you dumb bitch.
Kill
I
him.
can squash you. Like the worthless piece of garbage that you are.
The fly was sent to the mid dimension. And he
I think I
was
got it. Oh, come on. So close. Ah!
he doesn't want to be sent to the mid dimension.
I'm gonna get this fucking fly. So annoying. One sec.
I can't believe Tai is summoning the gods.
I think I got it this time.
Did you?
I don't know. It's like. Oh, I think I got it. I don't know if I killed it though.
Fly was sent.
Oh, I
Success-
definitely did.
The fly was sent successfully to the mid dimension.
Into the bin dimension you go.
な、嫌な言い方。
Killed it.
And yes, David, this is the part where we scream at a screen for people to stop.
じゃあまあ、そっちはほどほどにしとけよな。
This is where everything goes horribly wrong. Ending the conversation
Oh, I'm
before
pretty sure things have been going wrong this entire scene.
ending the conversation before Ami's mood gets any worse, Koji heads off to find Yo.
Yo.
I feel awful, miserable, but also refreshed. I finally crossed the line. I knew it would come crashing down like this sooner or later, having become unable to feel anything but disgust for other people. There was no way that I could hope to maintain the relationship I had before the accident. Today's incident will definitely get back to Koji and Omi, and everyone will be convinced that I had a major change of character. Honestly, I don't care anymore. At last, I probably won't be committed for this. I just need to avoid acting any stranger than I already have. If this puts a
This is
rift,
like
yeah.
this is like light levels of justice planned. Is
It-
Tai the new Sachiko?
Yes.
Don't tell any ghost stories, Funko, but you might be trapped in my high school of the sex.
Oh god, that actually sounds like a fucking hentai. Let's see. High school. Of
It sounds
this
more like a
sex.
bad porn parody.
High School of the Dead hentai, only the good parts. High School of the Dead OVA, Saeko and Takashi sex scene, Pornhub. High School of the Sex quotation mark in between parentheses death. Boom Italo Brothers. High School of
Would
the
you-
Dead Sex. Volume 02, High School of the Dead. Oh
No, okay, we found our new read, I guess. If you die in a meat zone, you go into the sex zone.
Oh no. Oh no. It's you get sent to that room in Silent Hill 2 with all the pistons.
And then you get piston sheep.
Piston ship with the end rod. If this puts a rift between me and the others, good. The thought of all the stress I'll avoid brings a smile to my lips. I'm fed up with them sticking their noses into my life. It's like they don't care that they make my gut turn just by being near me. I've been terrified of them all till now, but today I struck fear into one of them. In that sense, it's something of a relief, but I'm not entirely without remorse for what happened. The person I just demolished with the verbal equivalent of a nuclear bomb used to be my friend Yo. Even if my senses don't believe it, my mind accepts the theory. I don't have any particular grudge against Yo herself, and I didn't want to hurt her. In retrospect, perhaps I should have just ignored her outright. Yo was an attractive girl. I certainly didn't think badly of her, to be honest. Though I was annoyed when Koji and Omi tried to stick us together. It felt like they were using us as entertainment, and Yo seemed totally oblivious to the fact that she was dancing to their tune. Her cluelessness was irritating. Still, I knew that none of them meant any harm. Back then, I didn't have any reason to her orders just to get my way. If having a casual relationship with Yo would have kept our circle of friends together, I was willing to make that compromise. Now, however, there is no room in my heart for such forbearance. If merely talking to someone is an ordeal, then how can I expect it to show them kindness? These ruminations have left me exhausted. I want to return to Saya as soon as possible, but thinking about the packed trains and crowded downtown streets between here and home snaps my spirits. Catching sight of a nearby bench, I sit down and close my eyes to the horror of the world. I can't do anything about the stink or the noise, but at least I can calm my nerves enough to rest.
Okay.
When Ryan regained consciousness in the T University Hospital war, the world was as dark as it is now. I had not yet recovered my sight, even though my eyes and optical nerves were undamaged. It must have been an after effect of the accident. Blindness was a shock, but now I know that my suffering then was nothing. After all, my senses of hearing, touch, taste, and smell were all fine at the time. The real horrors began with when my sight returned. The one small mercy was that I was able to come to terms with the accident and my neurosurgery while still blind. I panicked when I first saw the nightmarish hospital and the blood-curdling shapes of doctors and nurses, but I soon guessed the cause. It chills me to think of what might have happened if I had recovered my sight along with my consciousness. Suddenly, awakening in what can be only described as hell, I would have no doubt have lost my mind instantly. Soon my disorder spread to the senses of touch, taste, and smell. As it turns out, sight exerts tremendous influence over the other four. The taste of my food, the feel of my bed sheets, the fragrance of my get-well flowers, all became as unverily foul as my eyes said they should be. Eventually, when the doctor's voices became unrecognizable as human, I decided to kill myself. I didn't believe for a second that I could live in this new world. Yeah, just casually killing myself. At least...
Yeah, BRB.
Hmm?
I'm BRB gonna kill myself.
Yeah. At least, not until I met Saya. One night, while thinking of a painless way to die, I found myself succumbing to sleep. Drifting between the nightmares in my dreams and the nightmare of reality, I didn't notice her enter my room. The next thing I knew, there was a face staring down at me from next to my bed. Oh, this is Song of Saya too. The face was not covered in pus or slime or earthworm-like fillers. It had smooth white cheeks, round eyes, a lovely little nose, all things I had never expected to see again. The face was that of a girl, undeniably human and positively glowing with beauty. Here's the CG, by the way. Look at her face though. She's just like... She literally like that meme. Stop staring me with them all big eyes.
My bunker, what big eyes you have.
I sighed in admiration, savoring the first peace and joy since regaining my sight. You had not expected such a reaction, apparently.
怖くないの？私のこと。
She asked. Looking at the clock, I saw that it was exactly 3 in the morning. Not time for a young girl to be alone in the hospital. Perhaps she expected me to mistake her for a ghost. But I would have not cared if she had been a ghost. Either way, she was a godsend.
君は誰だい？なぜここに？
私はさや。パパのこと探しに来たの。
I assumed that she was the daughter of a late shift doctor or another patient. It was unusual, but not unthinkable for such a girl to be wandering around the hospital.
あなた、怖がらないんじゃつまらない。
Anata.
Hmm? I don't know if you're making 1 plus 1 tie of what's happening here.
I mean, I'm seeing the situation. Okay.
Are you are you not realizing something important here? Is my question.
I'm probably skipping it.
There has been like really big red flags around Saya, but if you haven't realized it,
yeah, I've noticed.
then what did you notice, Tai?
I'm gonna shut my mouth.
Okay.
ちょっと
You may not notice, but I'm also trying to edit an episode here.
Pensive. I cried.
Because
Yeah?
I'm kind of behind on upload. So I need to do that still.
just don't please the algorithm of the gods, Tai. Just let it
I mean,
be.
it'll make sense, hopefully. So,
It's very vague, Tai. You need to actually like thunk.
it's very, you don't understand it, Tiny. That's what I've heard from your mouth.
I cried, desperate to. I mean, do you want me to just spoil you, Tai?
No.
Okay then. I cried, desperate to keep her from leaving. It was only after she turned around that I realized I hadn't thought of what to say next.
何？
Well, what is it?
Her beautiful eyes drew me in, healing my soul to its core. Though the white haze clouding my mind, I struggled to form a coherent sentence.
女の子にお願いしていいことじゃないんだが今は君にしか頼めない
No longer concerned with propriety, I let the words come as they willed.
手を握らせてもらえないだろうか
Okay. Will you let me hold your hand?
Oh, my hand.
Saya looked confused at first, but then she smiled like she just found a new toy.
Oh.
Her smile was brighter than the memories of my memories of the sun.
変な人。そんなこと言い出したの、あなたが初めて。
Ugh.
And yes, as Isao says, I'm still in the meat dimension.
Ever so carefully, as though catching snowflakes, I placed my palm against her. So Tai, you know how to make RPG maker games, basically, right?
Kinda.
Why not?
I
Why
may
not?
or may not have made a really long game at some point.
Let's make a game called Tai and the Mid Dimension.
You give me that idea,
Yes.
and you hurt me with it because it's probably something that I would have to spend hours on it and probably give up somewhere because I get frustrated because script doesn't work.
Just the
And then
the classic RPG maker stuff. You mean?
the classic RPG Maker experience.
I mean,
Tie the meta. No, we do not talk about the Metaclank dimension. That's basically Ireland.
The famine dimension. Oh. Ever so carefully, as though catching snowflakes, I placed my palm against hers. I could feel her human warmth and the softness of her delicate fingers. She was there, just beyond the palm of my hand. Thinking back on the joyful tears I shed then, I know that this is the moment I was saved from my fate.
この半月の間に初めて人に触れた。人だと感じられる体に。
Saya right now is probably, you know, that the corrupted think emoji? It just gets more corrupted the longer it goes. Yeah.
Huh?
There you go, see?
Question mark? Well, that is the appropriate response.
他の人じゃダメなんだ。僕事故にあって。その後遺症
Like if I
が
go to meta and type, dude, all I see is
その姿
flesh.
見えないんだよ。
Well, actually, that he could be like, yeah, okay, hi.
Can't touch anyone else.
Punch.
That's a sentence you can take out of context.
I must touch little girl.
本当に不思議な人。あなたって面白い。明日の夜もまた来ていい？
A date it is.
あ
How to pick up girls in the meat dimension.
君はそんなことをして。
You can hook up with some mid girls.
大丈夫よ。夜は私のものだから。
The night
That
belongs
is
to
a
me.
very foreboding sentence. Whatever it means.
Whatever it means, you would be surprised. And so our rendezvous began.
Rendezvous.
Yeah,
Tu
words.
parles français, Bunko?
No. Omelette de fromage. Saya came to my room every night at 3 a.m., skillfully taking advantage of the duty nurse's shift change. I was astonished to learn that she was living inside the hospital.
これだけ広いと隠れる場所には事欠かないから。
She had been living in this world with her father, she told me, until one day he suddenly stopped coming home. After she had tired of waiting, Saya had decided one night to sneak into the hospital where he'd worked, and there she'd lived for over 2 months, searching for his whereabouts all the while.
学校には行かな
Yep,
くていい。
sure happened.
いいの。勉強は全部パパに教えてもらったから。さやはとっても頭がいいんだよ。
She was a strange girl. On the one hand, she looked and acted like a child. On the other, she was remarkably self-reliant and at times exhibited a sharp intelligence and deep knowledge that many may have found unsettling. I didn't care. Saya was the only other human in a world gone mad. Her existence meant far more to me than the standards of society.
In which
な
we
くない
live.
のか。見つかりそうになったことは。
全然平気。ここにいれば食べるものにも不自由しないし、パパのうちに一人ぼっちでいるよりもずっと楽しいよ。
Yikes.
入院してる患者さんたちのうち、ちょっと精神的に参ってそうな人を事前にチェックしといてね。
Grinding mischievously.
時々部屋に真夜中に忍び込んで脅かしたりするの。その人が大騒ぎしても、そういう患者さん
What is that supposed to mean? Oh, I just look up on the mental insane and just try to scare them like, you know, nice people too.
Yeah, really. really, really activate my almonds. Oh god. Her confession reminded me that the hospital was famous for its ghost stories. Who could have
Oh god, no. Sachiko, please.
Who could have imagined that there was actually a real girl impishly roaming these hallways? Oh boy, could you not be more wrong about that?
僕も最初はそのつもりで。
うん。ごめんね。怒った？
Well, her pranks were
All
hardly
of the story is basically that girls aren't real. They are only a social concept.
exactly, Ty.
everybody is just meat people.
Yes, even though we see ourselves as humans, this is actually the mid dimension.
I like the concept of meat dimension. It's just
I mean, you're literally seeing just splashed in as the background right now. Just meat. While her pranks were hardly praiseworthy, I couldn't bring myself to scold her for the very beginning that had brought us together.
もうやらない方がいい。その代わり、夜は僕の話し相手になってくれないか。
さやもその方が楽しい。
Here you see him covered by meat. Look at
very
him.
comfy.
Comfy meat. Look at that. Wouldn't you want to sleep on that?
You now know what I think about right now?
Yeah?
The Ultra Gore nest from Doom Eternal.
Oh god. I mean, yeah?
Get the super shotgun out, we're about to fuck up the meat dimension.
Oh, no.
It all makes sense now. This is the Doom Eternal one now.
It's in the same universe. This is what was happening while the Doom guy was like stuck in space in Mars. With extreme care, I was able to conceal my sensory disorder. It was glaringly obvious to the doctors had no way to cure me, and the fact that I had undergone a still experimental procedure made me even more cautious. As a medical student, it was easy for me to imagine how the doctors would react if they discovered that I was exhibiting such unusual side effects. I was not about to become a guinea pig, a more specimen to be examined with clinical detachment. And so I hid my discomfort and loathing behind a mask of normalcy, convincing the doctors that any signs of stress were merely a result of hospitalization. Saya was my support. Looking forward to her nightly visits gave me the strength to endure my daily torture. Hope can make an enormous difference in a patient's progress. With the aid of my secret nurse, I recovered at a pace that had left the doctors stunned.
You know,
Yeah?
I really
Hmm?
I think this is the first time where I really have to notice this, but Jesus Christ. Anime self-analytics on characters. Holy shit.
On the
We
last...
really
Yeah? Just go.
nothing. Go on.
Okay. On the last night before my release, I summoned my courage and asked her,
君はこれからもずっとこの病院に居続けるのかい？
うん。結局パパの手がかりはなかったけど、もう他にいるところもないし、バレそうになるまではいいかなって。
In other words, there was nothing keeping her there.
よかったら僕の家に来ないか？
I asked timidly. The question took all the courage I had.
え？
家族はもういないから部屋はいくらでも余ってる。人目を忍ぶような必要もないし、住み心地もそんなに悪くないんじゃないかと。
ずっと
Come to me, we have plenty of meat to give.
I mean, technically speaking, the hospital has more meat, but...
No, don't understand. We have meat to give.
I was too afraid to ask her what she thought of that, so I hastily offered a deal.
君の父さんのことは代わりに僕が探してあげる。約束するよ。必ず居場所を見つけてみせる。
They say the tone in his voice looks like when you know when the simps start donating to their like favorite e-girl.
Can't believe our MC is simping for Saya now.
He really simped for Saya, and it paid off in the end.
I mean, is it socially acceptable simp though?
I would say it's perhaps not humanly acceptable simp.
Well,
Not
I
even
mean, it's also
socially.
not humanly acceptable to live in the meat dimension.
That's a difficult question to ask.
難し
To
いと
be
思う
meat or not be meat.
それ
I'm pretty sure he will enjoy being meat.
I mean,
Yeah? What do you want to say, Ty?
I'm thinking about like similar things where like, or like scenarios where everything was just meat. And I had like a faint memory of like some movie that I watched that like just everything was meat. And it just like went by on my brain. It went like in like whew! And then there it goes, it's gone.
Just meat. It's not just Monica, now it's just meat. The DLC, but it's meat dimension.
Don't bring DDLC in here.
Ironically, someone
Okay.
made a filter for like a VR headset, right, with a camera that would turn everything you see into meat. It was trippy to say the least. I'll send you the video later. It was a good watch.
Now you can explore the meat dimension in real life.
Yes, pretty much actually.
In VR.
多分パパ何か悪いことをしてこの病院を辞めたんだと思うだから警察とかは困るのなるべくこっそりと探さなきゃいけないし
頑張るよ。どんなことだってやる。
He was. He left like. Did he left like during our operation or was it like before the operation?
He was on the operation.
Yeah, we definitely did something to us.
No. He didn't do anything to him.
Oh, wait. You just said he was there in the operation, right?
No.
Okay, so he left before the operation.
What are you?
Like he went missing. Okay, Bunko, answer the question because I don't remember. Did he leave before or during our brain thing, whatever we
He
did?
left
The neural
after. Technically.
after. Okay.
Yeah. But he has not related to our MC's condition. I will say that.
Okay.
Like, the MC's condition, it is a fault of the experimental medical procedure. Unable to control myself, I
Damn,
finally...
I hate those goddamn alternative medicines.
Pretty much. This is why we need to ban like vaccines and shit. This is what happens.
In reality,
Oh.
Debo now he's tripping bullshit.
Oh, it's getting dark. Wait, what? The sky is white? Am I being sent to the mid dimension?
What?
Let me look out my window.
What is happening?
I don't know.
I think you, Bunko, no. Argentina is now the meat land.
Oh, so I'm actually being transported to Silent Hill. It's foggy as fuck, and even though it's night, it's so foggy that the sky looks white.
Watch out! Don't go outside. There might be yokai out there.
More than yokai, it's gonna be fucking Pyramid Head bursting through my window.
Sup? You got any Oreos in here?
Unable to control myself, I finally spoke the truth.
さやと離れたくないんだ。
At first, she looked bewildered, but after a few moments of silence, she said,
少しだけ考えさせて
You see, David, the thing is, there's always serial killings in your area, in fucking Argentina.
It comes with the Argentina package.
Pretty much.
Next to economic crashings.
Yeah. That night she left my room earlier than usual. On
No,
the
come back, lady.
on the day of my release, I managed to smile as I accepted the hideous, foul-smelling celebratory bouquet. The flesh beasts calling themselves Koji, Omi, and Joe came to pick me up, though they had come to see me many times during my stay. It never got easier to see my friends change so horribly. My sudden tears of despair drew suspicion, but I managed to explain them as tears of joy. While we walked to Koji's car, I looked desperately for Saya amid the grotesque scenery. Even as we drove away, I kept watching the hospital fade into the distance, praying for a last glimmer of hope. But Saya never appeared. After Koji and the others dropped me off, I paused a while to regard my surroundings. I had lived my entire life on this block, in this house. There was no other place that I could call home. But nothing was as I remembered. Everything was just meat. As I walked up the path to the front of door and took in the yard where I spent my childhood, I could feel those memories being defiled by the twisted, festering shapes around me. Inside the house, I found nothing familiar, nothing to offer me comfort and warmth. What I had once called home was now a whole other world.
僕にはもう帰る場所なんてない。
And here comes the edgy words. Ty, how edgy would you rate that statement?
home.
How edgy would you rate that statement?
I would give 8 Ken Kanekis out of 10.
Nice. I whisper with a smile of self-pity. There was one last stop to make. One last nail to hammer into my coffin.
Here's another meat thing. The Terraria Crimson is already mentioned. And then there's, I guess, Phantasmagoria from Path of Exile and the Phantasmagoria planets from Starbound. Hey, more
Wait.
meat planets. No,
Wait, Ty, I just realized. Let me Google meat dimension.
here's the thing. In China, you're not supposed to show like gore or bones.
Yeah.
Because it's disrespectful to dead in video games. How would this game look like?
It did get banned in China.
I mean, but if there were like a Chinese or thing going on,
Yo.
I'd like to see that.
Ty, I just
Yes.
realized there's literally a quote in Persona 4 that says, "You begin to suspect that your ball is a portal to the meat dimension."
Thanks, Persona 4.
Very cool.
Baby.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that was actually a reference to this, after at least it come before Persona 4. I stepped into the room that had cradled me from childhood. The walls were peppered with human entrails, the bed a tangled mass of warm flesh. But none of that mattered. There, curled up on the bed like an abandoned cat, was Saya. As I stood there in shock, she looked at me and in a tiny weak voice say,
本当にここにいてもいい？
All is missing now that she calls us Oni-chan.
No, if anything, she's a sadistic bitch. If you want to put it that way. In like a stereotype. I responded by sweeping her into my arms, embracing her tightly,
Sachiko!
her tightly so she could not escape. Yes, and in more levels that you can imagine, Ty.
Meet Sachiko!
She's the true meat, Sachiko. Saya did not resist. Oh boy, here we go. When she arrives at the Sakisaka house...
Hey.
Hmm?
No.
Omi first takes a deep breath to calm herself. Her anger does not vanish entirely, of course, but at least now she can hear herself thunk. While waiting for a response from the intercom, she looks over the patch of yard that she can see from outside the gate. Even Omi isn't normally one to complain about other people's housekeeping, but this is going too far. The grass is growing wild, and there are piles of dead leaves scattered everywhere. It doesn't just look untended, it looks like an uninhabited ruin. It's still light out, but every window has its storm shutters tightly sealed. Omi guesses that they've been closed since morning. What kind of life is Fuminori leading? Even if he's living alone, he can't neglect his housework forever.
It's called the gamer lifestyle. Wouldn't understand.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that's your average otaku right there. Living in their neat department. And
I
it's,
have become one with anime. You wouldn't understand.
and it's just her imagination, or does something stink like rotten meat? It couldn't be coming from the yard, could it? There's still no
Hey, for once these.
Finish your sentences, Die. Come on.
Hey, meat. What a new.
New
Oh,
concept. But is it meat or meat?
Meat feast pizza.
Meat pizza. It's not and it's not pineapple pizza anymore. It's meat pizza now.
I ate a meat pizza once. It was pretty good.
Oh, nice. There's still no response, so she presses the buzzer a second time, and a third, and a fourth. Finally, after this has gone over for over 10 minutes, Umi loses her patience and opens the cover of the intercom. As she expected, the power has been disconnected. Perhaps Fuminori has a good reason for shutting out the world, but Umi can only see it as a lack of respect for others. Her anger rekindled. Okay, whatever. She pushes the gate open and stomps through the yard to the front door. Given the state of his intercom, she doubts that Fuminori will respond to a knock, so Umi decides to just open the door and go in shouting. And if the door is locked, she'll just have to... Surprisingly, the doorknob turns easily on her hand, and the enraged Umi finds herself throwing the door open wider than she intended.
Sup, bitches?
Her nostrils are instantly assaulted by a choking stench.
何
As Umi stands petrified on the threshold, the cowbell ringing on the inside of the door chimes loudly. A moment later...
Oh god.
Omi can't believe her ears. The voice she just heard could not have been human. Yet intonations were too complex for any animal she can imagine.
誰かいるの
She calls out to the end of the hallway from which the voice came. There is no response. Instead, she hears the sound of something soft and wet flopping its way deeper into the house.
I swear to god, I set protection from Meat Boys earlier. If he comes out and is literally just a pile of meat, I'm gonna... I'm gonna flip some shit.
I mean, this is the
And
different
by
character.
The way,
This
as
is a
we were talking, the real Saya just DM'd me and said,
Oh god.
hot take.
Huh? Eh.
But okay, hold on. I need to clarify something quick. I like how this now just derailed everything. Hot takes.
Hot takes. I just lost my train of thought as I was answering something while thinking of other things.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Akabuko, you have entered the meat dimension.
Oh god, oh fuck, no,
You
stop.
can no longer escape here.
No, stop.
The only thing you can do now is become one with the meat.
No, I will never become ones with the meat.
Let's become one, Bunko. You and me.
No, I'm not you.
The
I will
real
never
life
be.
fusion dance. Resistance is futile.
Tai. Never. Ever.
Why
Fi-
not?
because memes.
It would be a fun experience.
No, I would never become one with the meat dimension.
Dude, Funko, you're so disappointing. Like, I'd go first for you, and then you could. I'll even give you like a review of it, okay? I tried it before and it's okay.
No, no, I'm not convinced.
So you would rather live in Argentina, the Silent Hill dimension, than the meat dimension?
Honestly, yeah. At least for now.
That's some patriotism right there.
It's not patriotism. I just think that the Silent Hill dimension is a little bit better than the meat dimension.
Well, you do you, I guess.
Finding it difficult to place a meaningful image to the voice she just heard, Omi stares blankly at the empty vestibule.
Sounds like somebody's using a shitty voice changer.
There's nothing there, not even Fuminori's shoes, which can only mean that he's still outside somewhere, wearing them. The house should be empty. But then, what was the voice just now? Her anger has vanished as if it were never there. Nevertheless, Omi sets foot into the hallway, leaving the door open so the bell won't ring. The floor creaks, setting her nerves on edge. Omi isn't sure why she's acting like a burglar, but something tells her to make as little noise as possible. The potency of the stink inside the house makes the whiff she caught outside pale in comparison. It's sickening, like rotting fish guts. Has Woodman left to spoil in the kitchen? She hears a bubbling sound up ahead. Stepping gingerly on the creaking floorboards, Omi makes her way to the end of the hallway. She finds room to both sides of her, one lit, the other dark, and chooses to look into the lit room. The
Can I just
kitchen.
mention one thing? That music makes me feel very nostalgic for some reason.
Why though?
It has like a similar progression than one of the Magical Starsign songs.
Ah, I see. It's the kitchen, lit by what must be only by the only window in the house not covered by a storm shutter. The sound she heard was the pot boiling on the stove, and on the chopping board next to it lay a butcher's knife and some half-diced carrot. A perfectly normal household scene, with the light of the setting sun making everything the color of decomposing fruit. Something is wrong. Who was cooking here, and where did they go?
誰かいないんですか
Omi calls.
I like how they call it a butcher knife instead of kitchen knife, just to rub it in there.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. It will not play any part on this scene. Yeah.
But more meat, you understand? More meat.
You have achieved meat.
Maximum meat overload.
What? Omi calls, regretting it immediately as she realizes that her voice is shaking. As her words echo vainly through the silent house, she begins to feel foolish and defenseless. Suddenly she feels something cold steeping through her pantyhose. She
What?
timidly reaches down to touch her feet. Her fingertips come away covered with a viscous olive green slime, like the filthy water from a tank long clogged with algae and dead fish. The whole
What?
floor is covered with it. It must be the source of the stench. Apparently they deleted the line where she basically took her shoes off, because it's Japan.
Yes, because Western. This is now Japanifornia.
Aomi now wishes that she had worn her shoes inside. Manners be damned. When she looks back ruefully the way she came, she realizes that her current position is not visible from the entrance. This kitchen must be where that strange voice came from. The next room is probably the den, as she expected from the closed storm shutters. It's pitch black inside. Naomi wants nothing more than to flee this house, but that would mean turning her back to the darkness, and that she simply cannot bring herself to do. Stop being stupid, just fucking run away. Jesus.
Anime.
Moved by some irrational compulsion, I mean, you would need to be extremely irrational to do what you're going to do, Omi sets foot into the den. It's too dark to see anything, and the stink is far worse than before. She slides her hand along the wall, feeling for the light switch. Finding it much sooner than she expected, she flips it on like it's her last hope. The colors.
It's
The
called
colors.
modern art.
So many colors. The purple of
Dude.
entrails, the brown of rotten meat, the crimson of fresh blood, the yellow of fat. These colors. The
If he
old.
showed this to like an art seller, he would be rich, dude.
True, but did you just realize that every color she mentioned, like put it with meat? Something related to meat? Meat. These colors, and more that cannot be described, cover every inch of the room in mattering array. The colors say all that needs to be said about the painter's hatred, malice, and insanity. Omi's legs give out from the shock, sending her to the floor. Slime immediately
Oh no,
sucks up
colors!
through her jeans, its cold tendrils creeping up her legs, crotch, and her neck. Her hand flies to her neck, where it's greeted by another drop of chilly slime. Above her, something is dripping down on her head, making perhaps the worst decision of her life. Omi looks up. The perpetrator clinging to the ceiling, poised to leap upon its prey. She sees it in every detail. Her mouth and nose are sealed before she can scream, and her belly is torn open as something enters to feast on her innards. By the time she feels any of this, Omi has already gone mad. I bit the bullet and tried to take the train, but the rush hour crowds were so bad that I had to get off halfway and walk. I'm running pretty late. Is Saya worried? I hope she's not mad.
I hope there's no corpse in our building.
When I
That
entered the
would be
yard,
horrible.
I realized that the front door has been left wide open. Light from the living room is seeping out to into the hallway, and I hear what sounds like someone smacking their lips. There's also a tantalizing fragrance in the air. Is it Saya? I consider calling out to her, but decide to enter in silence instead. Something smells strange, true not unpleasant. The aroma is quite soothing, in fact. It reminds me of Saya's hair. At first, I'm surprised what I see in the living room. The floor is covered with what looks some kind of grass, probably the source of the herb-like smell, and there are fruit or vegetable-like balls of varying size cutters everywhere.
Saya.
Here's the reveal, Tai. Tai,
Fuck.
have you... Is this giving you any clues of what I was mentioning
Yeah.
earlier?
The only thing that's now missing is now cannibalism.
Well...
Please tell me.
Saya turns around, her eyes wide with surprise. She then looks away sheepishly, like a child cat at some prank.
何を食べてるんだい？
これはその
She stammers, so flustered that I suddenly feel bad for sneaking up on her. Remember that she has never eaten in front of me before. I realized that she must be quite embarrassed.
一ついいかな？
I scoop up
My
the closest.
Tor cannot be this cute.
I scoop up the closest fruit thing and put it into my mouth, ignoring Saya's attempt to wave me off. Has a strange texture, soft and pliable, like a peach or a pear. When I bite into it with my back teeth, a succulent juice fills with my mouth. Combined with a sharp, strong fragrance, it's unlike anything I ever tasted.
何か味付けとか調理してあるのかこれ。
乾いてからちょっと溶かして食べやすくしただけで、ほとんど生なんだって。
That's how I feel.
Oh. I pick up a different lump, this one consisting of fruity flesh around a hardcore. Throwing a chunk of it in my mouth, I find that it has a similar taste to the last one.
ねえ、大丈夫？
Yum yum yum, delicious.
それって
Even she's concerned about him. Look at that. That's
僕でも食べられる味だ。っていうよりうまいよ。
now we are in full swing. Non-stop train to the true mid-dimension tie.
Fuck yeah. So it's just human meat, just like yellow jello.
For him, yes. So
Sweet.
then you can realize now that if he sees Saya as a normal human, then what she really looks like.
I mean, yeah. I was like, I was thinking, but I was like, no, that sounds too stupid, right?
Double-edged
Like, you can't
sword.
just be like the good old reverse tennis game, but what the fuck?
At first, Saya looks dumbstruck. Well, yeah, she would have never thought that fucking.
So, was there just like a giant like meat pile in the hospital, just like laying around?
Yes.
So she actually did hide out there for like a while and scared like, oh fuck, now that I noticed that she was like scaring all of the mental patients and no one, it adds up, and I hate it.
At first, Saya looks dumbstruck, but then she burst out laughing.
そうなんだ。ふみのりもこういうのが好きだったんだ。なんだ、あれこれ工夫して頑張ってた私がバカみたい。
さやっていつもこういうものを食べてたのか。
こんな大物は久しぶりだけどね。うん。近所の公園とかで取ってくれるやつ。
It's been a while since I had one so big. I usually catch them in a nearby park. There's an impressive nature preserve not so far from here. I never heard about fruits like these growing out there, but well, of course, they only look like fruits to me. They are really something else.
ごめんね。一番美味しいところ
My
は
meat,
さっきさやが全部食べちゃった。
my meat serial killer cannot be this cute, and also, the best parts. Just could you tell me those for like experimental purposes?
いいよ、また今度で。でもこれで明日から一緒に食事ができるね。
That's
Ikatakimasu.
Saya seems really happy. I'm happy too, of course. Eating with someone is much better fun. That's much more fun than eating alone, and it makes the food taste better too.
まだまだいっぱいあるし、食べきれない分は冷やす
Yay, everybody is
大
happy.
丈夫だよ。
Oh god, are you happy?
味は落ちるんだけど
Probably.
じゃあ
We just had a nice dinner with our girlfriend.
Yeah. Sealing the small fruits in Tupperware and the large one in pots and bowls, Saya and I store the remaining food in the refrigerator. Thinking of tomorrow's dinner fills me with anticipation. I feel that, little by little, I'm starting to regain the joy of living. Saya will guide me. With her, I can live on. Wait. Okay. True Scary Stories, Hospital Edition. Chapter 4, The Monster in the Hospital. A medical student relates his shocking experiences. Will you believe him or not? Strange things started happening at the hospital around the end of last spring. It began with patients waking up in the middle of the night screaming. They all spoke of terrifying nightmares, and many of them had to be sedated. Some patients even transferred to another hospitals because of it. The weird thing was that they all had exactly the same dream. A dream about some horribly disgusting monster staring down at them from their bedside.
I don't think that's a dream.
But the reality, why did I say reality? But the really strange stuff started happening after that.
Reality TV show. It was all just a prank.
There used to be a lot of stray cats around campus looking for scraps from the students. One day, the cats suddenly disappeared. And it wasn't that they'd stopped coming. It was more like they vanished from the area entirely.
It just happens. Or just coincidence.
And then people stopped walking their dogs around. According to the rumors, the dogs were refusing to go anywhere near the school. Eventually, things started going missing in the hospital. Organs, to be precise. Transplant organs kept disappearing from storage. People came close to losing their jobs over it. And it wasn't just 2 or 3 times that it happened. They tried to keep it from the students, but we heard it was a lot worse than that. People started saying that there was something living in the hospital. The janitors would find strange messes that could only have been made in the middle of the night. Traces of something that had crawled down the hallway, or weird stains caused by something dripping through the ceiling. The late shift nurses talking about hearing strange noises on the same nights that patients woke up screaming. There is one last story, one you can never mention inside the hospital. One day, the obstetrics department went crazy. They said that a newborn had disappeared in the night. If that were true, the police would have come and it would have been all over the news, but they said the big shots managed to make it all go away. It's just a rumor, of course. This strange incident suddenly stopped toward the end of summer. Now there are almost no patients complaining of nightmares, and the hats have started coming back to campus. But still, what happened in the hospital that summer? Even now, just thinking about it gives me the creeps.
We have brought a demon back home.
So Ty, this is our descent into madness.
I mean, IRL, yes. Probably. I don't know. I think after going through Irish accent corpse party, I think I've lost my mind even before that, but
And this is a welcome addition to make it even.
I think I want
go
out of
faster.
the meat dimension now, Bunko.
Now,
I
Ty.
want of the wild ride.
Sorry, Ty. There is no way out of the mid dimension.
Fuck.
Oh well. This is all
Enter
for
the void.
this is all for now, at least.
Damn.
Yeah, it's been too much meat. I need a little break.
Just as the game is starting to pick up.
Exactly. We need to do the massive cliffhanger. How are we gonna get people engaged otherwise?
Now that is some evil YouTube marketing, and I hate you for it.
I mean, it's the effective one, so.
Shut up.
ダメだ。
See?
Damn it.
Damn it.
Nothing. Sorry, nothing.
Nothing will stop me from doing this evil marketing.
Except I can. Watch this, as I, Tyler Tylington, will now save you all for eternal despair. Just kidding, you will all die.
So this is all for now, guys. If we're lucky, Ty will be here tomorrow and we can finish the thing because there's not much left.
Depending on when I wake up.
I mean, I will be up the entire day tomorrow, so
Will you now?
yes.
But your day is not my day, Bunko.
You see the thing, right? If we are alive around the same time we started streaming, then it should be okay, man.
Okay, then we might be able to finish it tomorrow if I don't need to go anywhere. I don't know. I never get told anything around here, so
Yeah. Oh well. We'll see. If anything, it will be one more to the list, to the pile that we will eventually finish.
yeah, it's not like we have like 2 other games.
True. I mean, we finished the other ones. It's not like we have them pending. We haven't started the sequels. We haven't started them. It's just that. So it's a nice change of pace, Die. Come on.
That's it. You're going to the meat dimension right now.
We are already past the no point return in the mid dimension, Tai. We are
You're
now
going to Brazil.
no, Tai. We are going to the bottom layer of the mid dimension.
We are not stalling. We're just talking. If we just read the thing, then it would be boring.
Exactly.
Except for me, I'm stalling right now. I just want the stream to go on a bit longer, so you guys can cry less.
I think it's in like 1 a.m. for Tai.
It is right now. It's actually just past midnight.
Wait, so you are in. You are +1,
GMT
right?
+1. Yeah, +1.
So that's literally. Oh yeah, that's right. I don't know why I read that as 8.
Did you do GMT +1?
No, no. I read my clock as it was 8:10 p.m., but it was
Oh.
7:10 p.m. I'm -3, so yeah.
All right.
Oh well. This is
Look at that.
this is the end for now. We will finish this in the next stream.
Ubu.
So yeah. See ya. See
Thank you
all.
guys for watching this episode of Funny Meat Girl Dooms Humanity.
Part 1.
The prequel sequel
Electric Boogaloo.
returns.
Yes. And bye bye. Yeah.
I just know what you sent me. Take me to church. Get off.